For years, there has been one silent object that followed Can Yaman everywhere he went. A ring. A simple, almost ordinary-looking ring that should have blended into the glamorous chaos of his life. And yet, it never did. Because those who loved him, those who followed every step of his career, noticed. They noticed it in photos, in interviews, in candid shots captured by paparazzi on the streets of Rome, Istanbul, or Madrid. They noticed that this ring wasn't just another accessory, like sunglasses or a watch. This ring meant something. And the strangest part? Can Yaman never explained it. Not once. In a world where celebrities are constantly asked about every little detail of their lives, from the clothes they wear to the people they meet, Can remain silent about the ring. Sometimes he would laugh off questions, sometimes he would pretend not to hear them, and sometimes, he would simply look down at his hand for a split second before moving on. That momentary look, that flicker of emotion in his eyes, only fueled the mystery even more. What was he hiding? Why was this one object so untouchable, so protected, as if it carried the weight of his entire past? For fans, it became an obsession. Entire online forums were created to speculate about the ring. Was it a family heirloom? Was it tied to an old relationship? Or was it perhaps a secret promise, a memory of something that ended too soon? The lack of answers only added more fuel to the fire. And the longer Can stayed silent, the louder the questions became. But to truly understand the importance of this ring, we need to go back. Back to the years when Can Yaman wasn't yet the international superstar we know today. Back when he was just a young actor, fighting for recognition, carrying both dreams and burdens on his shoulders. Because the truth is, the story of this ring isn't just about jewelry. It's about love, loss, and the kind of pain that never really leaves you. Imagine this, Istanbul, nearly a decade ago. Can was still carving his place in the acting world. His fame wasn't global yet. He was passionate, restless, burning with ambition. And somewhere in those years, the ring appeared. Some claim they first noticed it around the time he filmed Erkenci Kuss, the drama that made him a household name across the world. Others say he had it even before then, back when his career was just starting to rise. But the question has always been the same: why did he never take it off? This silence wasn't just about mystery. It was a choice. A deliberate choice to keep one piece of his life untouched by fame, gossip, and endless speculation. In a way, the ring became a shield. While everything else about his personal life was dissected in magazines, blogs, and social media threads, this one detail stayed his. Private. Hidden. Untold. But secrets like these don't stay secrets forever. And the truth about this ring, the truth Can Yaman has kept hidden for years, is far more emotional, far more heartbreaking than anyone could have imagined. It is tied not only to his past, but to the deepest corners of his heart, the parts he rarely lets the world see. And once we begin to untangle this story, once we dare to look behind the carefully built walls, we'll find a truth that changes the way we see him forever. Because this isn't just about a ring. It's about a promise. A memory. And maybe, a love story that never had the ending it deserved. The first time the ring truly caught public attention was not on a movie set, not in a TV drama, but in a moment that seemed almost accidental. It was during one of Can Yaman's earliest public appearances in Istanbul, years before his international career exploded. The cameras weren't there for him at the time, they were focused on bigger names. But in the corner of a few photographs, sharp-eyed fans noticed something unusual. A silver ring, resting on his right hand. At first, nobody paid much attention. It was, after all, just a ring. Actors wear accessories all the time. But as the months went by, something strange happened. In every candid shot, in every behind-the-scenes video, in every fan picture taken on the street, the ring was there. Always the same one. Never changed. Never removed. That consistency was what turned curiosity into speculation. Fashion is about variety, about change. But Can's ring never left his hand. It was almost as if it had been glued to him, as if taking it off would be like removing a part of himself. By the time Erkenci Kuş became a massive hit, the ring had already become part of his identity. In fan forums across Turkey, Italy, and Spain, screenshots were shared, zoomed in, analyzed. Some fans claimed the ring had initials carved inside it. Others swore they saw a tiny symbol, something like a star or a heart, engraved on the side. Whether these details were true or simply the product of imagination didn't matter. The obsession had already begun. Soon, magazines picked up on the story. Glossy gossip covers started running headlines like "The Mystery of Can's Ring" or "The Secret He Won't Tell." Interviewers tried to corner him with questions. Is that ring special? Is it from someone important? Can's reaction was always the same. He would smile, sometimes laugh, but never answer. Not directly. Not once. That silence only deepened the mystery. But what made this ring different from any other accessory was the timing. Fans noticed that around the same period when rumors about his connection with Demet Özdemir began swirling, the ring seemed to take on an even deeper significance. Some claimed that the ring appeared more frequently during press tours where the two were seen together. Others believed it was connected to a private promise between them. A bond they never publicly admitted, but one that fans felt in every glance, every interview, every stolen moment captured by the cameras. The theories grew wilder with each passing year. Some believed the ring was an heirloom from Can's family, passed down by his father or grandfather, carrying generations of history. Others insisted it was a lover's ring, gifted by someone he once loved deeply, a silent reminder of a relationship that ended but was never forgotten. And then there were those who believed the ring was connected to a personal loss, perhaps a friend or family member who had passed away, leaving him with a token he refused to let go. Whatever the truth, one thing was certain: this was no ordinary accessory. And the fact that Can protected it so fiercely, never revealing its origin, told everyone that it carried a story too heavy to share. By the time Can moved to Italy and began building his career there, the mystery of the ring had become international. Italian magazines, always eager to link him with new romances, began to weave their own stories. They suggested the ring was tied to a secret engagement, or perhaps even a hidden marriage. The rumors became so strong that in some tabloids, the ring itself was treated like a character, a silent witness to everything Can lived through, from red carpet triumphs to late-night heartbreaks. Still, through all of this noise, Can never slipped. He never confirmed, never denied. Just that same quiet smile whenever the question arose, and then a quick change of subject. To the public, it became both frustrating and addictive. Because every time the cameras zoomed in, every time the ring glistened under the flash of paparazzi lights, people were reminded, there was a truth here. A truth locked away for years. And as the years went on, as Can's career skyrocketed and his personal life remained under constant watch, one fact became undeniable: the ring was not a coincidence. It was not fashion. It was not random. It was a key. A key to a story that, if ever revealed, would shock everyone. The ring wasn't just something he wore. It was something he carried. A memory, a bond, a secret that refused to die. And slowly, the world began to realize, this ring was the most personal, most intimate piece of Can Yaman's life, hidden in plain sight. By the time Erkenci Kuş had exploded into one of the most watched romantic comedies in Turkey and far beyond, the chemistry between Can Yaman and Demet Özdemir was undeniable. Their on-screen love story captivated millions, but what truly made fans believe there was more to it than just acting were the small, unspoken moments, those glances that lingered too long, the laughter that seemed too real, and the silences that carried more meaning than 1,000 words. And somewhere, quietly glistening in the middle of it all, was that ring. It was almost poetic. On screen, Can's character was bold, passionate, unafraid to declare love with grand gestures. Off-screen, he was guarded, private, and always hiding behind that mysterious piece of jewelry. Fans began connecting dots in ways that felt too coincidental to ignore. They noticed that whenever Demet was around, Can seemed to play with the ring more often, sliding it around his finger, turning it absent-mindedly, as if it held the weight of something unsaid. Soon, speculation turned into obsession. Could the ring have been connected to Demet herself? Was it a gift exchanged in secret, a token of affection hidden from the public eye? The tabloids fueled these rumors relentlessly. One Italian magazine even ran a cover with the headline, Il segreto dietro l'anello di Can, un pegno d'amor per Demet. The secret behind Can's ring, a pledge of love for Demet. Turkish outlets weren't far behind, publishing grainy paparazzi photos of the two walking together after late-night shoots, zooming in not on their faces, but on the ring. Of course, neither Can nor Demet ever confirmed anything. In fact, they both dodged questions about their rumored relationship countless times. Interviews would bring it up, reporters would push for answers, and yet the most they ever offered were cryptic smiles and vague statements about good friendship and professional respect. But the audience wasn't fooled. They saw the sparkle in Demet's eyes when Can's name was mentioned, and they noticed the way Can would subtly protect her whenever cameras got too close. And so, the ring became more than a mystery, it became a symbol. To the fans, it was proof. Proof that what they saw on screen wasn't just acting, proof that the love story of Sanam and Can had spilled over into reality. Even when the actors denied it, the ring told a different story. A silent story, but one that seemed impossible to ignore. Yet what made the ring even more powerful was the silence surrounding it. Had it truly been a simple gift from Demet, Can could have laughed it off, explained it casually, and ended the speculation. But he didn't. Instead, he protected its meaning fiercely, never once offering an explanation. And that silence was louder than words. Because silence, especially in the world of celebrity, often means only one thing, truth too fragile to share. But there was another layer. As Can's fame grew beyond Turkey, the scrutiny only intensified. Every time he was spotted with a new co-star or rumored partner, the ring became the elephant in the room. Journalists would ask, if he's truly moved on, why is he still wearing that same ring? The question hung in the air, unanswered, haunting. For Demet, the speculation must have been unbearable. She had her own career to protect, her own privacy to guard. And yet, her name was constantly tied to this piece of jewelry she never once wore herself. Some fans believed she gave it to him as a symbol of a love they promised to keep private. Others thought it was tied to a specific night, a night of confessions, or perhaps a farewell, where the ring became a physical reminder of something they couldn't continue. What fueled the mystery further was how the timing matched. Around the time rumors of tension between Can and Demet began spreading, whispers of disagreements, distance, maybe even heartbreak, the ring didn't disappear. On the contrary, it became more visible than ever. Almost like a silent declaration, I'm holding on to this, even if everything else has fallen apart. This only made fans more certain. Because people don't wear symbols of pain unless they mean something deeper. If the ring were simply an accessory, Can would have removed it the moment the rumors about Demet became overwhelming. But he didn't. He kept it on. Through new projects, new co-stars, even new rumored relationships, there it was, unshakable. Over time, the theories evolved. Some fans believed the ring represented a promise Can made not to Demet, but to himself, to never forget what they had, no matter where life took them. Others speculated it was connected to a heartbreak too deep to speak about publicly, a scar he chose to wear proudly rather than hide. Whatever the case, the message was clear, the ring carried a story too personal, too emotional, to ever be dismissed as coincidence. And perhaps that's why Can Yaman guarded it so carefully. In a life constantly dissected by cameras and gossip, he needed something untouchable. Something that remained his. Something that reminded him of who he was, where he came from, and maybe even, who he once loved. Because love leaves traces. Sometimes in photographs, sometimes in memories, and sometimes, in the form of a ring. A ring that refused to disappear, just like the feelings attached to it. For years, Can Yaman's silence about the ring became as famous as the ring itself. Every interview, every red carpet appearance, every candid photo, it was there, and yet the story behind it remained locked away. Paparazzi tried everything. They zoomed in on his hand as he left restaurants in Rome. They circled the ring in tabloids with bold, screaming headlines, "Who gave this to him?" They questioned friends, colleagues, even fashion stylists, but no one dared to give an answer. The silence was unbroken, as if guarded by an invisible wall. And yet, silence can often reveal more than 1,000 explanations. Each time Can avoided the question, fans felt he was protecting something sacred. It wasn't embarrassment, nor was it indifference. It was careful, deliberate protection, like someone shielding a fragile memory that could shatter if exposed to the cold light of gossip. There were moments when the silence cracked, if only for a second. In one Italian interview, the host casually asked, "Is there a story behind that ring you always wear?" For the briefest of moments, the camera caught something raw, a flicker in Can's eyes, a pause that seemed too heavy for such a light-hearted question. And then, the mask returned. He smiled, said it was just something personal, and moved on. But the world saw it. That 1 second was enough to confirm, this wasn't just fashion. This was history. Meanwhile, the theories spiraled out of control. Some tabloids claimed it was tied to a secret engagement, a hidden love story the world was never meant to know. Others suggested it symbolized a loss, someone Can loved deeply, gone too soon, leaving him with nothing but this silent token. And then there were the fans who clung to the most romantic theory of all. That the ring was tied to Demet Özdemir, that it was a promise between two people who couldn't be together publicly, but who refused to let go of each other entirely. The intensity of this speculation grew heavier as Can's career expanded beyond Turkey. In Italy, every woman seen with him was immediately compared to Demet, every romance dissected with the same cruel question: if he truly moved on, why does he still wear that ring? And through it all, Can never faltered. He never explained, never removed it. In fact, the harder the media pressed, the more he seemed to double down, clutching the ring like a shield against the noise. The ring became not just a piece of jewelry, but a character in Can's life story. It was there in the brightest moments, glittering under the flashing lights of international award shows. And it was there in the darkest nights, caught by paparazzi as Can walked alone through the streets of Rome, head down, the weight of silence on his shoulders. What was it protecting him from? Or perhaps the better question was, what was it reminding him of? The truth, at last, is not a scandal. It is not a secret engagement, nor a hidden betrayal. The truth is far more human, far more heartbreaking than the world ever imagined. The ring was not chosen for fashion. It was not random. It was a memory, frozen in time, wrapped around his finger so it could never be lost. It was a promise made years ago, in a moment too private for the cameras, too fragile for the magazines. A promise tied to love, tied to pain, tied to a chapter of his life that changed him forever. For some, that truth is unbearable to accept. Because the story behind the ring isn't about scandal, it's about vulnerability. Can Yaman, the man so often portrayed as strong, unshakable, untouchable, had chosen to wear his wound, his memory, his silent truth, for the world to see, but never to explain. And that is why he never answered. Not because he wanted to tease, not because he enjoyed the speculation, but because some truths cannot be reduced to gossip headlines. Some truths cannot be spoken without breaking. Fans will always wonder if the ring was tied to Demet Özdemir, if it was a secret bond between them that could never be revealed. Others will continue to believe it was an heirloom, or a tribute to someone he lost. But the undeniable reality is this: the ring was the one part of his life he refused to give away. While fame took his privacy, while cameras followed his every move, this one secret remained his. And maybe that's the most powerful truth of all. Because in a world where celebrities are forced to share everything, Can Yaman chose to keep one thing sacred. A ring. A promise. A memory. As fans, we may never know every detail. But perhaps we don't need to. The truth is written not in words, but in the way he wore it. In the way he protected it. In the way he let it stay, year after year, a silent witness to both love and loss. The ring he kept hidden for years wasn't really hidden at all. It was always there, before our eyes, glimmering in the spotlight, whispering a story too deep to tell. And in that silence, it told us everything.